Okay, so this is my first time giving a presentation in front of a great big group of adults. I'm a teacher full time, but I'm not used to speaking to adults, so I'm very likely to start stuttering some words. This morning were not coming out, and I made 4 attempts over this table and embarrassed myself. But if I stutter, just assume you know the word I'm looking for.
We love you, Cheryl.
It's all good. I'm here, it's all good. Okay, so keys to success and business essentials are the 2 things I'm going to talk to you guys this morning. So people ask me all the time for my team, what do I have to do to have a successful business? Because, we join and we get nervous and we don't know how to get started, we don't know what to do, right? And I'm a big hand talker, so you're going to see a lot of this. And the second thing is, what do I focus on to get to where I'm going? That, I love that. That's my favorite thing that people ask me, is what do I focus on? Those are people who can visualize. Those are people who say, okay, what do I need to get to the next step? We don't want to focus on black. We all focus on black as our get to at the end. We have our whys. This is what we want to get to. But you have to also think in baby steps. Always, this is my long term, this is my short term right now. Okay, Tiff, go ahead.
Sarah's doing it because I like it.
Okay, no vote for you. All right, so about me and my journey. I find it really interesting, and it's one of the things that I love. We're not all Karen Medeiros. We don't all get to black status in 7 months, right? Look at her, she's shaking her head, don't say that. But I was so inspired by her, by Katie. I've watched them from the very beginning of their businesses. I've watched Karen from the time that she had just a few hundred people. And this morning she comes up and she's like, I have 10,000 people. And I'm like, oh my God, that's 10,000, that's so many people. And I keep thinking, am I going to get there one day? Yes, I am, because I will be a black status presenter and I have that mentality. I didn't at the beginning. I was a kidnapper. I said to my sponsor, who was a very good friend of mine from high school and junior high, I said, I don't have friends. There's no way that I'm ever going to be successful in this business. And I said, you know what? Yeah, the kid's really good. And I was the same. I was a mascara, an eyeliner, and, I wore shadows. That was it. Now I'm all about the lips, and I've got nice brows, and everything all goes together. Okay? So, well, it's true, right? Yeah. Some of us just join and we think it's not going to go anywhere, and look at all of us. We're here, we want to learn, we're excited to learn, we see ourselves moving forward. And if you don't see yourself moving forward, that's when we fail. You have to see yourself going to where you're getting at the end, but focus on little steps here and there, okay? So I am a full-time teacher, so when people tell me I don't really have time, I'm like, you are a stay-at-home mother, you are at home with your child, I work full-time, which means I'm marking, I am planning. I feel stressed out on a daily basis over just my full-time job. But I have a huge team of women, and I owe it to them. They look up to me, and I still have to be there for them. I have to be there for my own business as well. You have days that, you might not be able to do things because you have parent-teacher interviews or whatever, but you still have to be there for your team, okay? So I am married to my Mexican hubby, who I call my spicy burrito. He's a chef, but it sounds great, but if I can just get him to cook at home, that would be fantastic. Because sometimes, and I love it, right?
They don't want to come home.
Exactly. So at last I checked yesterday, I have 449 women on my team. 51 of them are my personal sponsors. I remember going to convention the first year and thinking to myself, okay, I've been in this for a little over a year. And I remember Carly Reeves getting up and saying, I am one of the black status presenters that has the least personally sponsored. And she was all quiet and shy about it. And when she said 41, I'm like, oh, I have like 10. She's thinking 41 is, a little. And I'm like, oh boy, I have a long way to go. But it happens. It happens when you just keep working your business. Okay. Oh, that's my little mini angel, my little son. All right, so status growth. Not all of us get to the top at the beginning. Yes, some people get there really quickly because they're on new launch. Like the UK was incredible. Like how long did it take for the first black status? Was that
3 hours.
Yeah, what I thought. It was like 3 hours. She went from 0 to I'm at the top of the company.
But she also found out that the launch was happening 7 months
Yes.
prior, and that 7 months, she worked it as a business.
Exactly.
She hadn't even signed up yet.
Yes.
So she got all these people excited, trained on what she knew, and then when launch day came, they all went out and she.
Absolutely, and that taught the rest of us to start when,
She
as soon
didn't
as you
really
find
go
out.
in 3 hours, it was really 7 months.
Absolutely, absolutely, but it's amazing that when you put that legwork in and see where you're going and then push yourself through, watching her do that made me go, oh man, my husband's Mexican, I'm gonna get into Mexico. And I really thought that would happen, but I have 41 ladies that have been sitting in a group and they're still watching me, and they've been watching me since 5 months before that Mexican launch even happened. They still want to. They'll eventually get there. I know that they will. I'm convinced they're gonna come at some point. So I joined just a couple months after TIFF actually. So I joined May 14th, 2014, and I didn't really do a whole lot at the beginning because I didn't tell my husband it. And I waited till he went to Vancouver for some training, and I'm like, so Louise, we've been talking for 7 weeks now, which I didn't even realize it was that long. But for her, she was probably sitting in the background going, oh, Cheryl is this close. I'm sure that she could see that I was getting close at that point. But she just kept supporting me and she waited it out. She didn't keep pushing me. She wasn't being persistent. I was the one who kept asking. If you have people asking you questions, making comments, they're coming at some point. So we have to really relax and not push them. And I think that's what we all learn as we go. So after 13 days, I hit my yellow status. Even though I wasn't really even working my business, I didn't feel at that point. I hit pink status after 1 month. I hit fast start, and I love when they show the numbers of this is how many we have. We really don't even have that many people who even hit fast start. Okay. Blue happened really quickly because my team was working together. We were duplicating. In the 3rd week of the month, I went, wow, I'm actually getting kind of close to green. Can I do that? I started focusing on everything green. And then I put that work in, and I started really working with my team, and that was when I started my group chat. And we still have that chat group going. There's like hundreds of women in there, but we all support each other. It doesn't matter what team we're all on. We support each other, and that's why I love the sisterhood. So I ended up hitting both of them in the same month. That was August. In September, company-wise, I was ready with, the dollars, but I didn't have my elite. So I really focused on, if I want to get to the next point, you need to visualize, you need to figure out what that next step is, which Sarah's going to talk to you about the visualization piece. Ooh, came out that time. Nailed it. This time. So I got to orange, and then it took me an entire 13 months later to hit that. And in the meantime, you're watching people who might have been there for 5, 6, 7 months. But you know what? I don't care how long it took those people to get there. It took me a long time to just get over that. It does not matter how long it takes you to get there, as long as you know you're getting there, and as long as you're working every day to get there. You do not have to worry about their journey. Their journey is not your journey. You just have to focus on you and you getting there, and your team. Okay? So getting started. So I started mine at first thinking, I don't know if they want to hear all these things, but wasn't sure what statuses we would have, so I'm going to try to spin it with newer as well as, more seasoned. So as soon as people start, the first thing we have to encourage them to do is share from the rooftops. I talk to absolutely everyone. And I think that's where I went from being, I got this kit, hey, these are really good products, and I started talking about the products, and the next thing I knew, I had my son's day home lady joining me, I had friends from school joining me. You never know where those presenters are going to come from. And you just talk to them and tell them about these products and what you're doing. People will follow. So first and foremost, you need to encourage those people to have those launch parties. There's so many presenters that have never even had one, and they've been there for 2 years. And I didn't realize how few of my team had done it until Tiff and I were talking, because we talk all the time, and she was talking about those launch parties, and I was like, oh, I should ask my team. And I could not believe the amount of people who have never even done a launch party. I thought that was an essential part of all of our businesses. You know, you have that 10-day party, you know, you tell people about it as you're going, you post on your wall. But I had people that on my team that were blue status, green status, and they had never even done a launch party. And I thought, wow, we need to step back. Okay? Virtual parties for friends, family, customers. I'm hearing you guys say, oh, don't invite all your friends. And I'm like, oh, some of my people still do that. And it still works. It's not to say that it won't work. You know, you have to do what you're comfortable with, right? Begin building on various platforms. I am not a good Instagram person. I've tried it, you know, and I got really excited when I got 300 people.
Yeah.
But I find it really hard to keep people engaged in there. So you have to figure out what works for you. So for me, my Facebook page, I almost quit with it. I was so frustrated. You know, I did a boost and I thought, you know what, I'm not getting immediate results. And talking to my sponsor, she's like, oh, you know, just keep it open or whatever. And then when I just had the right posts that started, suddenly I was getting lots of people in that group. And I found that after I would do the boost, it wouldn't happen right then and there during that boost. For some reason, 3-4 weeks later, I suddenly have 5 or 6 or 8 or sometimes 10 customers, all within a day that all message me. And I find it really interesting how that happens. So don't expect immediate results for things, just be consistent and keep working at it. Okay, items to focus on when you have a new presenter, or if you are a new presenter yourself. PRS, recruiting, and fast start. Fast start, I think, is something that a lot of us, we tell our people about it, but I don't think that we coach them as much as we could. They need to not just know, okay, within 90 days if you have blah, 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 then you're gonna be good. You know, you can work toward that. I think you really need to coach them on how to get there. You need to support them and keep reminding them, you now have that one presenter, this is what you need now. So be there for them as a new presenter. So when you focus on hitting fast start, PRS, and recruiting are already happening, right? If you're focused on your PRS, then that means that you are actively trying to recruit people to your business. And whichever platform you're using, however you're presenting yourself. And then as well with your PRS. PRS is going to happen if you are just putting yourself out there, posting on your wall, talking to absolutely everybody, going out with your one eye done, whatever works for you. I keep thinking there's a hand up. I don't know what there is right here, but it keeps looking like there's something. I keep looking, thinking there's a hand up. Somebody's
It's a
messaging.
teacher in you.
Yeah. it might be. It might very well be. Goal setting. So focus on your personal goals. Okay, so you want to visualize. What do I need next? Where am I going? And I did this with my sponsor every single month. She was amazing for encouraging us to always be setting goals. So I just got into a habit of doing it. And I find that my presenters that are under me who focus on the goals are the ones who are most likely to succeed. And every month I watch them. They are the ones who get the PRS they want. They are the ones who do promote. But if you're not focusing on those goals and figuring out what you even want, how are you going to reach those goals? Or how are you going to reach those levels? You have to have a goal on when you're going to get there. It has to be clearly laid out for you. What is your why? This should be your guiding force. For me, when I started, my why was, well, yeah, that makeup kit sounds good, but you know, in the back of my head, I was thinking, you know what, I could maybe do this. But I didn't really have any confidence. I was a really shy person. I didn't, there's no way I'd be standing in front of people like this and actually talking. I would never talk to a stranger, there's no way. Because I was just really shy, very, very withdrawn, very, very insecure about myself. So, my why, I told her, I said, you know what, I really want a second baby. And when I told this on my Facebook, oh my goodness, it was like crocodile tears, I couldn't get it out. But you know, I really want to have a second child, and I said to my husband, you know, I really want a second baby. And he came back with, well, you have way too much student loan debt, and we don't have a house. That right there to me went, oh yeah? You watch me go. So So I focused every single penny that went into my commission. It was 100% to pay off those stinking loans that were driving me nuts. I was tired of the phone calls. After 6.5 months, I paid off my first of my, that was my second biggest loan. I paid that off in 6.5 months. So I was 3 months later, I paid off 2 more. Because every penny that I made went into that account, and I didn't transfer it until it was a huge amount. So 3 loans were then gone. I went from a really huge amount of debt to, it's getting manageable now, right? At that point, I said to my husband, okay, so about that house, should we focus on that house? Or should I focus on paying off that last student loan? And that was when, we decided, okay, let's start, thinking about house. When was that? So I paid my loan off in around March-ish. And by October, we were looking for houses already. So we were actively looking and looking. We were getting close to getting our down payment, but not quite there. So between, him saving his money, me saving money from work, me putting money in from Younique, we then bought our first house ever, which I didn't think I was ever going to get there. Ever. So we finally got there, and I'm sure Karen and everybody saw my horrible, but I wanted people to know. So I did that embarrassing video. I let myself just go and let those tears come out because I wanted people to know, you know what? I worked my butt off to get where I am. It did not just happen overnight. I focused on where I was going, and I went there. You need to set those monthly, yearly, and 5 years, 10-year goals. I used to laugh at people when they used to say, what's up with 5 years? My job isn't changing, so how am I going to get something extra? I was not very good at saving. I like to spend. So I started setting those monthly goals for what do I want this month. Whether it was PRS, whether it was, my team is really growing, so I'm going to go from, when I was at pink, I said, oh yeah, I'm going to focus on blue. The blue-green was not, that was way beyond my expectations. But sometimes those things happen, right? So 5-year goals, like at this point, as soon as I did my video, I'm like, oh, man, what's my why now? So you have to reframe yourself. You already hit that. Don't stop yourself. I'm sure Karen doesn't go, yeah, I got black, I'm just going to stop there. The top of the company doesn't mean that you stop. That means that you refocus on what else do I want? Or what else would I like to do for other people? You focus on what's next. So focusing on your teams and their goals as well. We can't just focus on ourselves completely. I do have, the 80-20 rule that I try to say, like, focus 80% on your business, you building, you putting your messages out there. I find it really difficult being a full-time teacher because I seriously get 10 minutes for my lunch. My son has Taekwondo several times a week, so my hours are short. And I'm not good for staying up late anymore because I have child. So you have to work when you can, right? But have those goals set out. And for me, I'm already thinking I need a house in Mexico because that's where my in-laws are. So I want like a lakefront home, and that's kind of my next goal after I pay off the last student loan, of course. So focus on your teammates, focus on their goals. So you have your things that you need. Sorry, I kind of went back, oopsies. And then help them focus. Help them, force them, if you can. Force them to do their why. I started doing some Get to Pink groups with my team, and one of the very first things I made them do is I want you to do a video with your why. And they all went, oh, you want me to do a video? I'm like, there's 3 to 5 of us in this group. Do that video. Make yourself accountable. Tell these other people. Because when you say it out loud, when you write that down, you now have that focus. Instead of, well, I want to do this, and then a month later you're like, oh, I had a really good why. What's my why again? Your why is not right for you then. Your why has to be something very specific that you are planning on going for. And for them as well. Makeup math, I'm not going to talk about this a lot because I'm not Bradley Reeves, and that woman's amazing. She's just amazing with makeup math. The first convention I went to, I loved her class. And I was trying to, I watched that video and I tried to, rephrase it, which is tricky. Monthly goals should include who and how much they need to achieve their goals. when people say, I want to get this much PRS, help them create a plan. So you sit down with them and you say, or over the phone or via messaging, whatever works for you, and you tell them, okay, so this is what you want. You want $500 in PRS this month? That's fantastic. You know, that's leadership right there. Like, you're thinking like a leader. So how can we get you there? Well, this is the kudos for this month. Well, how much do you get for that kudo as your commission at the level that you're currently at? And then help them to figure out a whole plan. So by the end of the first week, you know, to get to, you know, a certain dollar amount, we need to have this much in commission, therefore I'm gonna sell this many of, you know, this many mascaras or this many of the foundations. And then help them to come up with how they're going to sell those things. Those things don't sell themselves magically. We actually have to have a plan in action. So, you know, you make a video, you order that kudo immediately. The first day of every month, that kudo should be in your checkout and it should be coming to your house. First of every month. Whether you want it personally or not, you know, like tanning products, like I said, I don't want tanning products, you know, I don't get free. But I order every single product anyways. I don't care if I want it, my customers might like it. And sometimes they come and you're like, whoa, that tanning spray is awesome. And then you tell everybody about it. And you tell them, you know, I wasn't expecting to like this product, I ordered it, you know, it works. So who wants to promote? What do they or I need? As a leader, it's tricky because if you have people who are blue status and you have 3 of them and they all want to go for green this month, awesome, be your first thought. But at the same time, you're thinking, ooh, that means I need to be recruiting. Because if they're trying to promote, when they branch off as their 10,000, that 10,000 now goes to them. And then you're sitting and going, oh my goodness, I don't have the circle sales anymore. You have to be recruiting yourself. So you need to think of what they need to move forward, but you also need to think about what you need as well. Because if you're not thinking about what you need, then you can find them, like other people going past where you are, and then you don't have what you need to keep at that level that you are. And I've had it happen on my team, and I'm sure that any of us elites have watched that happen. And it's really sad when you see that happen. You don't want people, you know, losing out because they are not building their team. And it is. I don't know, I'm a very empathetic person, and I had a really hard time watching somebody that was just amazing, and you knew that they could have been black by now, but you watch them and, you know, they go from purple status to blue in, you know, one order. And that's really hard to watch, and I have a hard time stomaching that. I don't know about you, Tiff, but that one is hard for me. So how much PRS do you need? Always focusing, you know, if you're going for blue or for pink or blue, you need to make sure that they have that 250. You know, you need to make sure that as an elite, you have that 500 or more. What can we sell to hit what we need? So again, that's just Jamaica math. Next one.
Everything got it. She's got it.
Oh, oh, see, now you guys can see it. Get to Pink was one of the biggest things that I took from convention this year. Last year, you know, I loved the makeup math. There were lots of different things that I learned. I felt very, very re-inspired. If you don't have your tickets for convention, please book yourself in because it is the best thing that you will ever do for your business. Between networking with other women, meeting other people, getting ideas from other people, going to those sessions, you take so much away. And when we say that, it was funny because one of my girls finally went after 2 years. We hadn't met each other. She lives in my hometown, but we've never met. And she went to convention and she said, she came on to our group right away and she said, oh my goodness, when they say that convention is amazing, multiply what your expectations are by 100. Because you just don't understand until you get there. Getting to Pink is one of the most essential parts of your business. This is when you now become a leader and you're now responsible for that other person. And I think as leaders, we really need to see it like that. Because it's not just about you anymore. If you want to move forward, then help them. If you help them, your business is going to move forward as well. For getting to Pink, they need to have, you know, really high PRS. They need to be recruiting, and they need to encourage them to do the same. Or sorry, you need and they need. You should take the brunt of the PRS or the company sales. And this is where I feel like a lot of people struggle to go from yellow into pink. That's right, I'm talking backwards because I'm going this way and you guys are going that way. So the brunt needs to go to you. So if you only have one person on your team, your expectation should not be that you have 1,000 in company sales and they have 1,000. That's not how pink should work. The month that I hit pink, I probably had 1,700 myself, and then one of my girls on my team, she took the rest. You know, if I could just set them up for 250, I mean, if you have 2 people, 3 people, the more people you have, the more likely you are to move yourself forward. So make sure that you're not just recruiting one and thinking, my goal is pink this month. If your goal is pink this month, you need to be recruiting hard, because otherwise it's not going to happen. You need to have those other people, and you need to have, because I mean, you need one active, yes. They can do 125, but then you're taking the rest of the PRS. So you need ladies who are working on yellow. So 2 or 3 is generally ideal, but you're gonna take a huge brunt of the PRS that month. And it does get easier. Like once you've gone there once, it will get easier every month. I was determined to never fall backward. I did find that once I got to orange, there were a few months of the year, you know, the Junes, the Decembers, which you knew were gonna be a little bit lighter. And those were the months that sometimes, you know, you would fall back, but just the next month you work harder. Helping others to pink. You always need to teach your girl to do the same thing that you're doing for your personally sponsored. Start Again to Pink group. Some people, you know, who are masters at this, you know, might have several different groups. They might have 10 to 15. I can't focus on that many. You know, I am a busy woman, and I want to make sure that I don't feel like I focus as well when I have a huge group. So I'm trying to focus just strictly on 3 to 5 a month. And if I can get those 3 and only one of them gets to pink, that's okay. We'll keep helping them in the next month. So focus on 3 to 5 maximum at a time. You can ask your team who is interested or hand pick those you feel are ready. Sometimes they say they're ready, they'll come into the group, you get into a few different tasks, and they are not doing them. If they're not doing them, they're not ready, and you need to privately message them, say, you know what, I noticed that you haven't done some of the tasks. Maybe this is not the right time. Do you want to try it again next month? You let them know. You give them that option, and they can either say, you know what, I'm going to catch up this weekend, and then they have that time and they can do that catching up. Or, you know, you say, let's try again another month. So you let them know in a really kind, like, way. Give them daily tasks to do for an entire month. And then make them accountable, like I said. If they're not doing the work, they're not ready. Sometimes they'll remove themselves. They'll say, you know what, I'm just not keeping up. I'm not ready for this right now. Can you, remove me from the group? And then you will, but I don't like to. Help your girls set goals and focus on their why. Keep reminding them or keep asking them, so what was your why again? You can play dumb. You probably have it written down because a good leader writes those things down, right? This is my new presenter. This is their why. This is what they want. You should be getting information about them and what they want. So when you come back, you can say, do you remember at the beginning of the month you were saying that you wanted to get to 500 PRS? Where are you right now? What can I do to help you get forward? Really keep focused on them, because then they're going to feel important. And they should feel important because you sponsored them. You're responsible for helping them to move forward. If they don't want you, that's different. But if they say, you know what, I want your help and I want to move forward, then help give them those, train them, teach them. What are some different things that you have done that's helped you? Then help them with that as well. So really build a relationship together. Have everyone in your pink group get together as a small unit. Have them friend one another. I've learned this from Karen. It's a great way to do it. Because then you start commenting on one another's posts, and that's when other people are now going to comment on your posts. They don't need to know whether that person's a unique presenter or whatever. Doesn't matter. The more comments are there, it's interesting how more and more comments will come. Because they want to be on it too. Welcome them and nurture them like they are your own. Do not assume that their sponsors are there for them. Sometimes, even your own teammates will relate better to your upline. There's kind of a lot of that, but it's true. There are some times that, our sponsor goes really well for a while, or you might just relate better to somebody that's in your upline. So they should always be added to your upline's groups, whether you like them or not. You know, I have people that are 4 generations down, they come to me. And that makes me feel good, number one, because they show me that they want to move forward, and they'll say, you know what, Cheryl, I haven't even heard from my sponsor, and I hear it a lot. My sponsor sponsored me, and I haven't done any training, I don't know what I'm doing. So can you take me under your wing? And of course, my answer is gonna be yes, absolutely. Because chances are their sponsor will leave, and they're now going to be mine. So I feel that my whole team is just my responsibility. I don't care what generation anybody is, they're still mine. So I really reached out. Take accountability, make sure that they are doing some of the following. They don't have to be doing everything. Everybody has things that they're comfortable with. So hosting virtual parties, you know, whether they're short, you know, here we're just going to do it for 3 days or 5 days. Do home parties, trade shows. I didn't do my first trade show until I was, you know, almost 2 years in, but I still started doing them at some point. And I really actually love them. They're so much fun because you have all these other DS people. I'm now networking, everybody's becoming mine, and you become their unique girl. You're setting yourself up for future customers, possibly maybe their business stops. Hey, Cheryl, you know what? My business is, you know, it's going in the toilet. Can you tell me more about Younique? You never know where your percentages are going to come from, but you want to plant that seed in every person that you meet. Network with other DS people, start your own buy and sell, as Tiff talked about this morning. I have a training group, and I created it myself. It's my own group. Basically, it's like a little, it was kind of a VIP group of my own, which was all DS people. But now we all support one another. There's only one person from every company. We don't add in anymore. And we support each other one-on-one. So, you know, if you need makeup, they're gonna come to me. If they need 31, you know, if you see somebody post on 31, do you know a 31 rep? Absolutely, yes. You know, Tammy or whoever it is, that's your 31 person. That person, now, they send everybody to you. And I find it's a really good way to keep yourself with new customers. Okay, are they recruiting and coaching? So if you're recruiting people, are they recruiting and are they coaching their people? You need to really make sure that when you have your personally sponsored and they're getting other people, I don't like to step on their toes, but like if you see that they're not doing PRS, you know, you need to find out from them, is this person a kidnapper? Is this person planning on doing this business? And try to reach out to that person and make them feel welcome as well. I don't care what upline I have, you know, I go to Karen when I need Karen. If my sponsor's not there and I come to Karen, I go to Katie. That's pretty much as far as I go, because after that I'm like, who's next after that? Because you guys are always so supportive, I don't really need to. Power of duplication. This is where people get to that next point. People who duplicate and teach their people to duplicate, those are the people who can go up the ranks quickly. Because you're teaching them the skills that you learned yourself.